A tease of a surprise Space Marines debut, Infinity delays, and the Slaves to Darkness Battle Tome preview.
Baby, you got a stew going.
Welcome to Warhammer Wednesday, our weekly look at all things miniatured war games. Before we dive into this week's news roundup, be sure to like and subscribe to support a new independent tabletop news channel. Now, let's talk some minis. A recent Rumor Engine article over on Warhammer Community has some speculating whether the Alpha Legion will be getting some unique miniatures finally. The image, which shows a two-bladed spearhead, is remarkably similar to the weapon carried by Alfarius during the Horus Heresy. Alpha Legion was the legion led by not one but two Primarchs, a pair of identical twins named Alfarius and Omegon. And they specialized in spycraft and infiltration. One could never tell which one of the identical twins was leading their Alpha Legion at any given time. Now, Alpha Legion is technically a traitor Space Marine Corps, but they actually seem to play both sides of the Horus Heresy at times, leading some to believe that maybe the identical twins were on different sides of the same conflict, or maybe they were just pursuing their own agenda the entire time. One brother decisively died during the Horus Heresy, but the other's death was more murky, and Alpha Legion has remained incredibly active for centuries afterwards. Now, the Alpha Legion has no unique miniatures in Warhammer 40k, so this would be huge news if the Rumor Engine is indeed hinting at an appearance in either 40k or maybe Kill Team. Games Workshop is rolling out some new details about the Slaves to Darkness Battle Tome, which will be released later this year. Some of the new updates include a host of new abilities for Slaves to Darkness armies, including units being able to pledge their souls to the Chaos Gods to receive benefits, and 2 new regiments of renown. Also, players can add daemons to the battlefield, giving them extra boons. Additionally, the Dark Oath are getting their own spearhead, with rules appearing in the new Battle Tome. Now, the Slaves to Darkness is one of our favorite factions in Age of Sigmar, so we're pumped to see everything that the new Battle Tome has to offer. Vermintide 2 is seeing a huge surge in player count as the game has launched a brand new Versus mode that pits 4 hero players and 4 Pack-Sworn players against each other. Now, the Pack-Sworn players are of course represented by the Skaven, and they can actually control special enemies as they try to take down the heroes. Now, Steam's user count for the game has risen to over 20,000 concurrent players at times, which is impressive given that the game was sitting at around 1,000 to 2,000 players before launch. Now, the Versus mode is just one of several new things added by Vermintide 2's most recent update, and we highly recommend that you check it out. In other Warhammer video game news, Darktide is getting a huge update to celebrate the game's 2nd anniversary. The new update will include a new Havoc game mode that includes their toughest missions yet. Also, a new Dark Communion mission is coming that adds several new weapons to the game. All of that content will be released in early December. And finally, the new edition of Infinity has been delayed. Corvus Belli has announced that it is pushing back the release of Infinity N5 to December. It was originally supposed to come out here on this week, November 18th. The sci-fi game is set in the future and uses various human factions battling with high-tech weapons and mech suits. Players use a d20 to make checks and attacks, with direct attacks against each other, determined by a system where players try to roll as close to their unit's success value as possible without going over. Basically, blackjack, only with the dice. Now, N4 was incredibly popular, and anticipation for N5 is equally high, so we'll see how the game launches next month with this delay. Well, that's all the news that we have for you this week. Let us know what your favorite story was in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.